Hi everyone, it's Monica and welcome back to Tailor-Made Cards for You. Well, today I want to share with you how to create a easy calendar that can easily sit on your desk for next year. And when I say easy, guys, I mean this is very easy. It's a very simple base to be able to stand upright on your desk. For this particular one, I created a little pocket to house the future months, and that's because I use these little clips. But I'm going to show you how to create this base, but we're going to use a bigger clip this time because I want to be able to house all of my images right here. And these little images are in my shop. I created these to be able to use for next year. And they come in sets of 6, so you could easily print out 6 calendars and tag them on, and then when you get through June, then you print out the next sheet and you can house them. Now if you wanted to go a little bit more intricate like I did on this one, you could easily add a sentiment on top, you can add a pocket, but I wanted to be able to create these as gifts. So I'm using a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I cut them at 4 inches so that way I could get 3 calendars out of these. So that's why I went a little different for this design. But certainly if you wanted to make them a little bit bigger, this space is 4 1/4. And the reason I actually put this on top is because when I had taped this, I taped it top up, but we're going to switch it around so that way if you don't want to have to use a little sentiment on top here, it'll be a nice clean edge. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the clips that I used are from Tim Holtz's Ideology collection, and for my calendar, like I said, I used these little clips, and I ended up having to glue them, which was fine, but then I also found when I went to put the calendar on, I had to open both of them to be able to get my calendar straight, which was a little bit of a pain. I mean, you can definitely do it, but I wanted to be able to have something a little bit easier. So that's why I decided to alter it just a bit and use these bigger clips for this particular design. So when you are working with your base, let's go ahead and work with one sheet here. Like I said, I just cut this into fourths. I should say into thirds using 4 inches. And then we're going to go ahead and also score at 4 inches. And that should be plenty, right? So 4 inches is going to be right here. Maybe we'll actually go a little bit higher because we want to make sure we have room for our clip. So let's just kind of measure this out here. So here's our clip. So yeah, maybe we'll go actually 4 1/2 on this, which you're going to have plenty. So go ahead and score at, I can't decide if I want to do 4 1/2 or 4 1/4. I think I'm going to do 4 1/4. Yeah, so 4 1/4. And then this is going to be your top fold. Okay, and then we need to create this down here. So I'm just going to flip this around and again score at 4 1/4. And then for my little ridge here, this is just 1/4. So we'll do, let's see, I'll actually do half, I think. Yeah. 1 2. And then 1 2. All right, so that should do it. I'll do this. I'll do this. And that is our ridge. And then we'll do this fold here to be able to glue it. And then as you can see, you have a little base here that's going to be pretty sturdy. You could easily cut some of this off. In fact, I think I'll cut this part off. but you also want to make sure that you're paying attention to the way your designer paper is going. On this particular one, as you can see, my paper folded will be a little bit off, but that's all right because it's the inside. But if you are concerned about the direction of your designer paper on the inside, you may not want to have a pattern that is, you know, specifically going one way. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so now that I have this put together, I'm going to go ahead and add some glue. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and keep this whole thing because I want it to be pretty sturdy. Now you could easily use tape if you wanted to. You don't necessarily have to use glue, but if you are using tape, you won't have a lot of wiggle room. So you're going to have to make sure that it's lined up perfectly the first time. So kind of keep that in mind. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just line this up. And then we'll give it a minute to dry, and then we can add our calendars. All right, now if you want the edge to be in the back, you can certainly just turn it over and do that. But keep in mind, if you have a folded pattern, if you turn it this way, your butterflies will be upside down. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it this way so that way my pattern stays the same. Now, if you are concerned about a pattern, what I did on this particular one is I created a white base and then I cut out my pieces and I just glued them the right way. But once I started thinking about it, I thought if you had some really pretty designer paper, you could actually make this a whole lot simpler. So just kind of do what works for you. This is just a very easy base. I wanted to be able to create several, and that's why I went with the 12 by 12, cutting it into 4 inches. Okay, so now that we have our base, we're going to go ahead and add this, and this is going to be a very easy add. I'm going to use a brad to add it, and then we're going to go ahead and add our calendar. So let me go ahead and get my tool and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and put our brad here, or our little tab here. And what I'm doing here is just basically figuring out where I want it to go. Now, if you don't have it glued together, you could easily, you know, mark it and then use your hole punch for that. But since I've already glued this together, I'm going to go ahead and just use my tool here to add the hole for the brad. So I'm going to go ahead and just hold this in place and just poke a hole. Not much to it. And then from here I can go ahead and add a brad to hold that in place. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and put this through. Gosh, hopefully it won't go through. Let's see. It'll fit. All right, perfect. All right. So we'll put that through the hole. And again, if you decide you are going to go this direction, you may want to do this before you actually glue your paper together. All right. And then also, you know, if you wanted to add a little bit of glue, you can do that as well, to make sure it stays in place. So it's just completely up to you the way you want to go for this. Okay, so now that we have that in place, now we're ready to add our calendars. And like I said, with the bigger brad, you can easily fit all 6 of your calendar pieces on your clip. And then as the months go by, you just can take it off. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's a very easy design, but I wanted to go ahead and get this taped for you to show you how you can create a very easy desk calendar. And you know, of course, it can be flat in an envelope, minus the brad, and you could even create a cute little gift card to go along with it as well, a matching card for a friend or a family member, maybe just something you want to give them to start out the new year. All right, so if you've enjoyed the video, I would sure appreciate a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I have another video coming out on the 4th, I believe, and it is going to be a friendship card which will match this calendar perfectly. So just to give you some more ideas going into the new year. And if you want to get these calendar printouts, they are also available in the shop, and I'll make sure I leave them linked below. All right, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.